And we're good to go. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon or good evening. It's 1st of February, so very excited to see how this month pans out. And actually, put in the chat, how have you guys got on? What was your percentages last month? Were you in positive, negative? If you know the exact percentage, how did you get on? Chuck it in the chat. Let's take a look. Okay. Have 3% profit for the month. Nice. Mario, 0.85% for the month. Okay, I can see you guys are really managing your risk, which is good to see. A lot of you on the call, so I'll wait for you to type in. If you've messed up, put you've messed up. One step forward, two step back, but getting more confident. Well, these you've not been involved. You've only been involved for I think a couple of weeks or a few weeks, so you're on the right path with that. How about everybody else? I'll wait for you to comment. Didn't manage my risk. That's why I only made 3%. Had one day of a bad loss, okay? But you're still in profit 3%, so you've got a loss that you can learn from. Eli, 1.5% from January, okay? Pretty good. Adrian, 12% January. That's really good. Well done. Averaging, what, 3% per week? It's really good. That's just really good. 12%. It's crazy, right? Can you imagine, like 2 years ago, most of us on this call didn't even really understand how to trade or know what trading was. Rack, 26.8% for January. Nice. Mario, the goal is to be profitable every month. Correct. Right, whilst you keep typing, Miroslav, 0.4% for the month. It's positive. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The first thing that I can see is this, just without doing any analysis, and we're going to go through our exact thing. This candle here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need this candle to this candle here, the 1 hour to close at this area, and then I'll be looking for another push down and then buys potentially just from looking at the 1 hour candle. For myself, so my account that I've been really focusing on managing the risk for the month of January ended in over 20% profit, live account. The highest drawdown on that was 4%. Again, I wasn't overly happy with that. However, you know, if I look at the journey of trading, I think many of us will snap the hand off to say it will take minus 4% to gain 20% over a month. But there's still a lot of room for improvement. We also have now the software, the TradeBuddy software, which has been great, and our trade ideas that I'm giving every day. Today, I broke down some ideas. Now, I started a $1,000 account to share the trade ideas I give, to take them all, okay? And the TradeBuddy ones that I managed to get hold of, I take them. And so I started that on the 25th of January. And that account finished January at 4% profit. When you put that into perspective of what everybody else has just got, you can see, okay, this is pretty cool. Stop loss, take profit on every trade with how it's explained. Today, for the first of the month, I wanted to be cautious. However, when I see the shot, I take it. All right. When I see the shot, I take it. It's like I said the other day about Mike Tyson. You don't go in the ring tentative. If you go in the ring tentative, then you're going to lose. Right? You go in, and if you're going in to win, you're going to win. It doesn't matter if the first of the month or the mid of the month, last of the month. I see the trade and I see the setup, it's great. Now, this worked out really, really nicely. Why? Because when I looked at what I did, I woke up this morning, looked at the daily. Okay, the daily had no bottom wick, pushed up to take out over 50% of this top wick. This was great. Before I went to sleep, I actually looked at I got rid of this, and when the market closed, I broke down a load of areas here, and I could see push up on the 8 hour. I could see that this, I don't think that was the 8 hour. No, the 8 hour wasn't like this. Was the 8 hour here? You can see this candle pushing up. That's how it closed. So I knew already that there was a possible area here, price to come down to. However, if it goes up, there were two zones that I was looking at for potential sells. And let me go back again. So we are on the, there we go. I think that is the correct. Yes, that's the 31st. Okay, so now we go to the 4 hour. Take a little look at that. Nope, I don't know why it does that when you go down to the lower time frames. It's strange. Let's go to the 4, get rid of that one. Okay, cool. Let's go to the 3 hour. Let's just ignore that at the moment. Let's go to the 2 hour, 2 hour, 2 hour. There we go. Cool. So I need to, I'm doing this very, very stupidly. But anyway, I think it was the 1 hour ended as a bull candle with no top wick on this. It was something like this, I believe. Anyway, so I was looking and I could see that price had moved. I believe this was it. Yeah. So this is when price closed. That's the last candle there. Boom. There you go. All right. So you see, I noticed that it closed and there wasn't much of a top wick at the time with the 1 hour. And so I was looking at areas up above. I noticed the 45-minute. And then if I go to that, you can see we've got this area at the top here, roughly within reason. And then you've got on the 30-minute, we had this zone here as well. I was going to place sell limits at both of these. However, I didn't. I placed them and then I deleted them as the market opened because I wasn't sure if it would come all the way up to this zone. And the reason why was because there was this area here from this wick to this wick that was putting me off. And I was thinking, well, why should I put myself at risk? Why don't I just wait? Because I've made that mistake before where I placed the buy at the sell limit and then price went against me. So what you have to look at is the monthly. Okay, if I turn this off, how did the monthly close? Well, forget about this monthly. It closed the candle I love. Therefore, could it push up higher first before we attack this bottom wick? Yes. Anybody that knows me, resistance at the top, not as big a top wick as the bottom wick, and it's a selling candle. So to retest, if this big wick up the top here wasn't there, I'll be quite aggressive on layering sells here. However, because of this, we could just go up and create a rally-based rally. So you got to be very, very careful. So anyway, let's go back to the 30-minute turn on the drawings and you'll see what actually happened here on the 30-minute. So this is what happened. I believe it was, yep. So this is the open of the market. Price came up to that area. If I had set a sell limit of 20 pips, all right, look at where that went. And I would have been, I don't know how the next one went. There you go. I would have actually woken up to have been in 0.5% or 1% profit, whatever risk I would have done with my 20 pip move. However, I didn't set that. And so even though it's annoying, it's cool because it says, right, I was right. However, then watch what happened. So if I'd have left that one and the other one, yes, I would have been in profit. However, this one now would have been triggered and I more than likely would have been stopped out. So let me go to my tool and look at this. How big was the wick? 32 pips. So one trade win, one trade loss. I'll be now at break even again. Okay, not a problem. But it was, instead of taking the trades, I just watched them. You see how we rejected at that weekly zone that we map out as well. And so what happened after that? Price came all the way up. And what time is this? 4 a.m., 5 a.m. This is when I'm waking up. Okay. This is when I start looking at the chart. That's 5 a.m. Prague. So 4 a.m. UK time. So if you're in New Zealand, these are really good times for you guys to watch price. Okay. So now I've taken a look at it. I'm starting to see how it's playing out. Let's look at the 2 hour. 2 hour, no bottom wick at all. No bottom wick. The 45-minute is a strong area, but it's been used, so I'm not using that anymore. This 30-minute I'm not using anymore. Now I look at this candlestick structure and I'm starting to try and identify what is going on. We're at a 1 minute. So if I go to the 1 minute, sorry, let me break this down for you a little bit better. 2 hour. Okay, this is how the 2 hour is, and I can now identify that there is a nice push up possible and a nice push down possible. So I need to dissect this 1, 2, 3 candles to see what's going on in this area here on the left, this area here, okay, in this zone here. All right, so that's what I need to do. So I go down to the lower time frames, and all I'm going to do is identify areas. Let me do this a bit better for you so you can see this. This wasn't here. This wasn't here. This wasn't here. Okay, and this yellow zone, let's move that over here for now so that you can see I didn't even identify that yet. So 1 minute, the next 2 hour candle, let's see what it's going to do. Is it going to go and push all the way up, or could it push up slightly and come down and attack this area? If you look at the 4 hour, okay, the 4 hour now has 2 hours left. So that was 2 hours ago as well. So the 4 hour, I'm looking at the 8 hour. Could the 8 hour push down? Yes. Could the 12 hour come down further but not flip, which means the next 12 hour up and then down? Yes. Okay, cool. I'm trying to picture this. So now I go back to that 2 hour candle. Let's go back. And I have to dissect this area here on the left, this one. All right. So we go down to the 1 hour. Is there where's the next area, the ETM candle it could hit, and on the upside as well? Guys, there's nothing right now. Nothing. Cool. All right. So we can also identify some resistance zones like this. So nice resistance on the 1 hour. I do my support resistance on the 1 hour and 30 minutes. So 1 hour done. So we've got a nice resistance here, and this wick is another confirmation. Great. I don't see any support on the downside other than here. Okay. Nothing here. Done. And we're at a really nice time because we're coming to the back end of Asian. You don't see many crazy moves around that time. Let's go to the 45. Okay. You see this on the 45? There's just a random black candle here. So I get my tool, put this here. Great. I've got my first area of interest, and let me do this because this is going to put you off a little bit. We were at this point here roughly, okay? Roughly there. So now I've got my area here. I'm going to map that out on the 45. Let me put that as a 45. So these areas I put in green because these are potential buy zones. 45 minute. Okay. All right. On the upside, I've got this 45-minute area, but we've already used it once, and I know that there's a resistance here, so no problem. 30-minute. There's nothing really. The only thing that was putting me off is this bad boy here if price drops. However, one big candle up. Great. 20-minute. Okay, no problem. 15-minute. Okay, now we've got a nice area here. Okay, 15-minute. Now, because there's not a lot else going on, I believe, and I may be wrong with this, but I believe I put it at the wick. All right, but I'll check. Let's see. Let me put 15-minute. I didn't do that. So hopefully this is going to help you understand how I dissect this. 15-minute. Yep, Mary, did you catch the buy? Good. All right, I'm also looking on the upside where price could come up too. I don't really see anything. Everything's been used, all right? And I've also got this 15-minute down the bottom here, and I've got a 2 hour zone as well, all right? So now let's go to the 10-minute. Again, nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, now 5-minute, nothing again. And on the 5-minute, I really don't see anything up above as well, other than this BEC. I'll put it at the body of it, this kind of BEC, which I didn't even actually map out at the time. So I'll tell you why I took the trade the way I took it instead. 5-minute, cool. All right. So now I'm starting to look at this and I'm saying from this 1 minute on the 5-minute all the way down to here, is there 20 pips available? Sorry, let me do it again. Is there 20 pips available? I go for 20 pips. Oh, there's 25. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So now let's go to the 3-minute. Another area here. I'm not interested in mapping that out. Let's go to the 2. Again, I'm not interested. Can you see there's nothing going on here? So my first level of the last support on the lowest time frame or wicks as such is here. So I put an orange because that is where basically it's like liquidity. Okay, so I've got an orange. Now on the upside, can I see anything? We've got, let me zoom in. I didn't even map this out, but I don't really see much at all here on the upside either. Now let's go to the final one, the 1 minute. Excellent. Okay, cool. So I've got this zone here at the top as a possible area price may come up to and reject. However, I won't be taking sells at these zones because it could continue to the upside, right? Why? Why is that? Because the daily is overall bullish. Yeah. The 4 hour, the 8 hour, they have big wicks to the upside. But now when you look at this, okay, look at this wick here, price, this one here. I'll do a black line for this one as such. Okay. You can see how this price just came down and then, so if you'd have taken sells here on a 1 minute, you probably would have got stopped out or gone back into drawdown. So now I can identify that is the wick. I need a close below here to then start to identify how I can catch 20 pips on the drop. Okay. So I've now identified what I've got. Are there any other confirmations? Well, let's look at the Asian range. Great. This will be the lower end of Asian. Fantastic. And it will be kind of the top of the other sessions over here as well. So I don't foresee price just falling all the way down if I look to take a buy down here. Now, let me just go. Yeah, let me get to that. The other thing that I looked at, I then went through the cloud. Look at this on the cloud. 1 hour, 2 hour. Where else was it? I think it was on the 45. Let's zoom in. Was it on the, sorry, let me go back because I can see that this is, it's doing something a bit weird, but anyway, so we're roughly around here. Okay. Now look at the cloud. What can we see? Can we see anything going on? Yes, we see a split. Okay. You can see the TK lines down the bottom. I think it's going to do the same thing again. Yes, it did. Right. This is the one. I believe this is the one anyway. Let's go back to here. Julio, can you see that? Look at that. Boom, boom. Yeah, you see that split. Sadly, I'm going to have to do it this way, aren't I? I think this is going to be, oh no, there we go. 10, 15, I think 15 minute and then 20. Boom, look at that. In between. Yeah, you see this? So now this is giving me another confirmation. Lastly, remember what we did with the Oracle on the 15 minute? Let's turn that off. Let's turn this on. And let's turn on the Oracle. Oracle is flat. However, there's nothing telling me it's going to reject here. But I will put a line because you may want to pay attention to this zone and see what happens when if it hits it later on. Okay. Let me do that a little bit further so it can be a little bit clearer like this. Okay, so now we're coming to the candlesticks. Let's take a look. So we're now at 5:30 and then this is 6. So the candle closed. Now we're looking at, and let's go to the 1 hour as an example. So this is how it closed. Look at this next 1 hour. What do you see? It closed below the 1 minute area that I mapped out, and it tried to push below this area too. So now the safest one, instead of when price comes up, try and hit sells, wait for a move up if it does. And when it comes back to the open of here, or even the wick of here, take the sell, stop loss with 20 pips, and then see if you get it right or wrong. So essentially the best trade, because there's enough room for 20 pips here, is to take, 1 second, let me do this. Here we go, 2020. So that is my sell. It could be a sell stop as such, okay? And then I actually made my sell even further down, I think, that I took it. But look at where the stop loss is, where if it does reject, there's a high possibility it can come up and come back down again. It worked out perfectly. I also then identified the buy here on the 15 minute, and it covers majority of this 45 minute zone as well if it drops into here even further, okay? So that's what I was looking at. Now we take a look at how this played out on the 5 minute, which still isn't at that point yet, I don't think. So let's get to that area. That's 35. 45, 50, 55. So this was the end of that 1 hour candle that I mentioned. Okay. So actually, when you look at it, let me see. Cool. So let's go back one. That's the close of that 1 hour candle. And it also was a brand new 4 hour candle. Okay. So now look at the 4 hour. Look at how the 4 hours closed. Definitely a chance to take out this wick. However, a retracement back down to these zones is possible first for a push up. So now I just need to see how, but because we have that area mapped out of the yellow zone, I now know that if it does push down, there's near enough nothing that can stop it. Near enough nothing. So I'm going to pull this along, and that's my 26 pip zone. Okay. So let's go back to price where it was, and we'll take a look at what happens here. Okay. So when you watch it, you will see this happened the first 5 minutes. Holy crap, why did I do that? That didn't work out well. Apologies. Let me go back. Yeah, cool. All right. I believe I might need to do this. Okay. All right. So how long we got left? 5 minutes. So price came up, broke down. You can now execute the sell. If you look at it on the 30-minute, you'll see that it would have started to push up and come down even nicer on the 30-minute. And then you get another push. But then if you're just sat in this at this area where it broke below that zone, fantastic. Just hold it, see what happens. And then a retest of it again. You start to watch this on the 15-minute. You'll be able to see how beautiful that looks as well. And that near enough is confirmation to me. Set it, leave it, go away, set alerts and see if it catches it. And then you get this. Okay. And this worked out really, really nicely. On the 30-minute, it created a bull candle and then came to our zone pinpoint. I'm glad I chose the wick rather than the body. Otherwise, we would have missed it. And then trade was executed again. And boom, you get that move straight to the upside. And the rest was history. Now you look at what price has done. If we get rid of both of these and we get rid of all this jargon so that you know. And this is just a common theme I've seen. Now look at what's happened. We've just tapped into this area down the bottom on the, we've got the end of a 1 hour candle. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need this. This. Let's get rid of all of these. Okay. Let's get rid of all of these. And so, you know, sometimes I go through top-down analysis and how we're marking this out, but, you know, I think it's really important that you know what I was looking at then so that it can really help you. So let's quickly look at Asian range. We've got, I'm going to map this out as quick as possible. We've got the top of Asian here. I'm not even going to write their words today. Let's try and do this as quick as possible. 50% of Asian. And you've got the bottom of Asian here. Okay. We have a new 2 hour candle about to open. So this is how the 2 hours looking. I would be, if price pushes down first, I would look for buys in this zone. If price pushes up, I'd try and find an area. So let's go through it quickly. One, yeah, this is nice. Down to up is definitely viable here. I think you probably want to be safer waiting for something like this because the, let me go here, let me go here. And this is the only reason why I'm looking at this. You've got this big candle here, the wick and the wick, all of these. This is that move we recognize, right, guys? So I'd like to see that movement happen, okay? So something like this. And we only need 20 pips. However, if it pushes up first, then you may see this and then this type of movement, okay? And so you have to go through different time frames that are about to open and close. But on the two, let's quickly dissect. We've got this. So all I'm looking at is in this zone, where is there an ETM candle on the highest time frame possible? 30-minute. All right, so let's map these quickly. 30, could price come up to here? or we've got the 30 up here, which has been used. You see the wick, 30-minute. How long we got left? 35 seconds. Let's go to 20. There you go. There's a 20-minute has not been touched. So if price comes up to there, could you possibly take a sell? Possibility. I love you, darling. Thank you. 15. You've got this area up here. I'm just going to put a line. Otherwise, 10. There's your 10-minute right here at 50%. I think that would be the sell. So I'll put that there, that there. See if that's 20 pips roughly. Are you going to play ball? 20, 20, done. Okay, cool. So I'll be looking at that. Now, price is pushing down first. This is a good sign. So therefore, I will be looking at buys here. You could be looking at the 15-minute. It's totally down to you. Let's go to the 5 quickly. 2, 1. It may reject any time now. It may, but I don't see anything here at the moment. So I'll be waiting for the green zone to be tapped. I have no idea, but I'll be looking for buys. And then looking at the 2 hour, let's see. Sorry, guys, I've raced through this now purely because otherwise the other area, if you are going to wait and let it breeze through this zone, is more than likely one of these two. The reason why I wouldn't choose the 15-minute for buys is because the bottom of Asian is here. So it can come back into it, but there's a better margin here of it going back into Asian 2-3 pips rather than 5-10 pips. But otherwise, I would be expecting my overall trade for this one is something breaking back up into this area up here. That's what I'll be looking for on that one. If we go to the other higher time frames, let's see how that looks on the 3 hour. Okay, we have 2 hours left of the 3 hours. So it could just continue down. Safer buy is to wait for the 3 hour to flip, and around 2043.6 may get a better buy. Otherwise, if you look at the 4 hour, there's a lovely 4 hour zone here that if price, what I'll do is I'll put an alert basically here. Why is it not letting me? Let me do this. There we go. So I'll put an alert, and I would put here, yeah, 4 hour flip buys. 4 hour flip buys possible. And just set it and leave it and see. And that could be a safer bet because if the 4 hour flips, we've only done 2 hours of the 4 hour. So if it does flip, then you're looking at attacking this wick onto the upside. Otherwise, if it doesn't, then we're looking at an 8 hour. We have a new 8 hour candle retesting the open of the 8. Could be the 8 hour that flips, which means it will be the new 12 hour that goes through. Again, on the sell side, you could put an alert here and say 12 hour flip, which then conflicts with our buy at the 2 hour. So you've got to be extremely careful now taking those buys. Let me see. 12 hour flip sells possible, which means if I'm looking to take the buy here, I would go with a lot lower lot size. This one here. This one, the buy would be triggered now. Looking at the 2 hour, okay, it may come down further. I don't know, but I will be looking for this to try and come back up. And if it doesn't, then no problem. You just have to sit and wait and see how price plays out with this one. Otherwise, I'm not as confident with these trades as I was with the move earlier today. That's what I'm not taking these trades, guys, just so you know. I'm done. But this is what I would have looked to have done if I hadn't got in the market yet. I would have taken these shots. That's what I would have done. Okay. And obviously, you have to manage your risk. So the 2 trade ideas that I gave earlier today, I risked 0.5% for both of them. That means that now that account is at 1% for the start of February. Yeah. Now this one, yeah, there is a possibility of it coming down to that area. But again, as you can see, I've got that alert for saying the 12 hours probably going to flip. So I don't know how it's going to play out, actually. Interesting one. Very, very interesting one. If this 1 hour closes below this wick over, then I think this thing is just predominantly going to start continuing its descent. So again, be careful with your buys if you are taking buys in around these areas. We'll come to the bottom of Asian. We have news today. So 1 p.m. or 12 o'clock UK time, there is GBP news that can impact gold. And at 1:30, so 12:30 UK. And at 1:30 US UK time, there's US news as well, unemployment claims. So just be careful of that. Yeah, there's some aggressive volume coming in. Nice. It's coming from this previous open. So you probably would have got stopped out, or I would have got stopped. Not yet. Not yet, not yet. But there's a high possibility of getting stopped out. What's nice is whenever there's a fast move, there's normally a nice fast correction. So I tell you what I would have done, more than likely. I probably would have changed my stop loss, taken another trade here. So you remember what I said to you guys, what I do? Let's say I take a trade here. I definitely have been known to do this. I'm definitely not going to lie to you and say I haven't. I'll take a buy here. I would, let's say I'm risking 0.5%. Maybe I might be willing to risk, so 20 pips would be 0.5%. Let's say now I'm going to change my stop loss. I'm going to risk 1% on that. And I'm going to take another trade here at a higher lot size if it comes here. So let's say this is a half a lot. I'll do this probably at 1 lot, which now means that this gap here is around 20 pips, which means where the blue arrow is in the middle, where this blue arrow is 50%, which then means that this this trade now would be near enough in profit or break even if price came back up to that. So this candle now comes down. Let me change it to black so you can see it. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so this candle will come down. First buy triggered here, and then I'll trigger my second buy here. And then as price came back to around this zone and around here, I should be at least break even. And if it comes to this zone, I can close both of them, even though one's at a loss and the other one's at a win, and still be in profit trading that way. That is something I've done. Other than that, I don't really see anything else, guys. I'll keep an eye on the chat today, but I'm not going to give any more trade ideas. I gave the trade ideas earlier, and you can totally and utterly trade out. And I have rushed the back end of this candle open. But I think we should be okay with us getting a rejection back up. But again, the old mistakes that I used to make, I would have a buy here, and then I'd take another one here, and I'd take another one here, okay? And all of us, oops, let me do that. Another one here at like 3 or 4 and be at like 2% drawdown already when it's not necessary. The trouble was that my mind couldn't handle the weight of being in drawdown. We just want to get it over and done. Does anybody have any questions? Two sell scalps for 1%. Nice, well done. Coolio, guys, that's it. Remember, we can't win all of them. We can't. Last week, that account that I've been sharing with you had a couple of losses, but it ended up this week being 4% in profit. So that's good. Coolio. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you because I've got daddy daycare today. Just be careful because on other time frames this could push, but there is a possibility of these two happening. If you want to play it out that way, that's what I would do. Okay. All right. And then worst case scenario, this one I'd lose 1%, and this one I would double it up. So I would lose 2% on this trade, near enough. Okay. Coolio. All right, guys, sending love to you all, and I will look forward to seeing you on Mr. Rowan Bond's call later on today. And the presentation tonight is at 8 p.m. UK time. Purely, totally and utterly just trading, trade buddy. It should be about 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. Job done. All right.